Okay, so get ready for a deep dive that's pretty gorgeous.
Oh, wow.
We're going to be taking a look at some really cutting-edge research that uses AI to detect diseases in pumpkin leaves. But
Okay.
here's the really interesting part, is we also get to kind of peek inside the mind of the AI and understand how it's making those decisions.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool about this research is it's not just identifying sick pumpkins, it's using AI to solve a real-world problem in agriculture and then being able to understand the AI's reasoning.
Right, so it's not just replacing humans.
It's like having a super smart detective on the case.
Exactly.
And they can explain exactly how they cracked it.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's really adding to it with those AI insights. Our main source for this deep dive is this research paper called Explainable AI-Enhanced Deep Learning for Pumpkin Leaf Disease Detection, a comparative analysis of CNN architectures.
Catchy title.
Now, I know that title might sound a little bit intimidating,
Right.
but stick with us because this is where it gets really interesting.
Absolutely. So pumpkin leaf diseases can be a huge problem for farmers.
Yeah.
Things like downy millet, powdery mildew mosaic disease, bacterial leaf spot can wipe out entire crops.
Wow.
And traditional methods of identifying these diseases are very time-consuming. They can be inaccurate, and they rely heavily on a farmer's experience.
So imagine you're a farmer walking through your pumpkin patch
Right.
and you see a leaf with some spots on it.
Yeah, how do you know if it's just a bit of sunburn or a serious disease?
Exactly. And even if you can tell what the disease is,
Yeah.
how do you know if you caught it early enough to actually save the plant?
Exactly. And so the researchers thought that this is where AI could really make a difference.
All right.
They wanted to develop a system that was not only accurate, but could also explain its diagnosis.
So they weren't just aiming to replace human eyes with AI, but actually team up with that human expertise.
That's right. So the researchers tested out a bunch of different convolutional neural networks, or CNNs for short.
Okay.
Think of these CNNs like specialized computer programs that are really good at image recognition. They trained these CNNs on a data set of 2,000 images of pumpkin leaves, each labeled with the specific disease it had.
And the winner was ResNet 50.
ResNet 50. This particular CNN was able to identify those tricky leaf diseases with a whopping 90.5% accuracy.
Pretty impressive.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, right?
Yes. And what makes ResNet 50 so good is that it uses something called residual connections.
Okay.
It's a bit like building shortcuts within the model so it doesn't get lost in the complexities of all that data. It helps to prevent common problems that can trip up other deep learning models.
So it's like giving the AI a roadmap to navigate all that information and make the right calls.
Yeah.
But the researchers didn't stop there. They wanted to know why ResNet 50 was so good at its job.
Exactly. They wanted to understand the AI's thought process.
Right.
It wasn't enough to just get a high score, and that's where explainable AI or XAI comes in.
Okay, so XAI is like peeking under the hood of the AI
Yes.
to see what's going on.
It is.
What's going on under the hood?
The researchers used 4 different XAI techniques,
Okay.
which might sound complicated, but what they basically do is create heat maps.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like those weather maps where red means it's hot and blue means it's cold.
Yeah, those are easy to understand.
Yeah,
So are these heat maps showing us what the AI is seeing?
exactly. The heat map highlights the areas of the leaf image that the AI focused on when it made its diagnosis.
Oh, okay.
So if the AI is looking at a leaf and says it has powdery mildew,
Right.
the heat map might light up the white powdery spots on the leaf.
So it's like the AI is saying, hey, this is what I'm looking at. This is why I think this leaf has powdery mildew.
Exactly.
And that's incredibly valuable for a farmer, right?
Yes.
It's not just, oh, your plant is sick.
Right.
It's here's what's wrong and here's why I think so.
That level of transparency is really important, especially in something like agriculture, where decisions have real-world consequences.
Of course.
If a farmer can understand why the AI is making a certain diagnosis, they can have more confidence in the system and make better decisions about how to treat their crops. It's like having a conversation with the AI rather than just getting a one-word answer.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And it really highlights how XAI can bridge the gap between complex AI systems and the people who use them.
Okay, so we've got this amazing AI that can detect pumpkin leaf diseases with incredible accuracy.
Right.
And it can even explain how it's making those diagnoses.
Mm-hmm.
But every research project has its limitations.
Sure.
What were some of the things the researchers acknowledged as areas for further exploration?
Well, one thing they pointed out was the size of their data set.
Okay.
They only used 2,000 images to train the AI, which is a relatively small number.
Okay.
In the real world, there's a much wider variety of leaf images with different lighting conditions, angles, and so on.
So the AI might be great at identifying diseases in a controlled setting,
Yeah,
but how would it perform out in a real pumpkin patch with all sorts of variables?
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to train these AI models on larger and more diverse data sets. The more data you feed them, the better they become at recognizing patterns and making accurate predictions in a wider range of situations.
Makes sense. What else did the researchers mention?
Well, they also focus solely on CNN architectures for this study.
Oh.
While CNNs have been the go-to approach for image recognition for a while now, there's a whole world of other architectures out there.
So they were basically using one type of tool from the AI toolbox.
Yeah.
And there might be other tools that are even better suited for this job.
That's one way to think about it.
Yeah.
There are things like vision transformers and hybrid models that are emerging and showing a lot of promise in image recognition tasks.
So it's like saying, hey, we got some great results with this hammer,
Right.
but maybe a screwdriver would be even better for certain tasks.
Exactly.
And speaking of different tools, didn't they also mention that there are other XAI techniques out there besides the 4 they used in this study?
They did. There's a whole array of XAI techniques, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Things like faster score cam, smooth grad lime shap, and integrated gradients all offer slightly different ways of understanding how AI models are making decisions.
So it's like having a whole toolkit of magnifying glasses to examine the AI's thought process, each one giving you a slightly different perspective.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And having that variety of tools is crucial because it allows us to gain a more comprehensive understanding of how AI systems work and to identify potential biases or areas for improvement.
Now, this is all incredibly fascinating,
It is.
but I think it's time to step back a bit and think about the bigger picture.
Okay.
We've seen how explainable AI can be a powerful tool in agriculture.
Yes,
What are some other areas where you think this technology could make a real difference?
that's a great question. And that leads us perfectly into our novel notions segment,
Mm.
where we'll explore some out-of-the-box ideas and imagine how we could push the boundaries of explainable AI even further, ready to get those creative juices flowing.
Absolutely. My brain is already buzzing with possibilities.
Yeah.
Let's see what wild and wacky yet plausible research ideas we can come up with.
All right, let's do it.
First off, I'm really intrigued by this idea of explainable AI in agriculture.
Oh, okay.
What if we could take it a step further and not only detect diseases, but also predict how they might spread?
That's a fascinating idea. It's like combining AI-powered disease detection with a hyper-local weather forecast, all tailored to the specific needs of each individual plant. Imagine a system that could analyze things like wind patterns, humidity, and even the genetic makeup of the plants to predict where a disease outbreak might occur.
Farmers could get alerts on their phone saying, hey,
Yeah.
there's a high risk of powdery mildew spreading in the southwest corner of your pumpkin patch. You might want to consider targeted treatment in that area.
Exactly. And because it's explainable AI, the farmer could even see the factors that led to that prediction. Maybe the AI noticed a cluster of infected leaves in that area combined with a predicted shift in wind direction.
That would be a game changer for preventing widespread crop losses and reducing reliance on pesticides, which is good for both the environment and the bottom line.
Absolutely. It's about using technology to empower farmers with knowledge and help them make more informed decisions.
But let's push this even further.
Oh.
What if we could use this same approach to develop personalized treatments for individual plants?
Personalized plant medicine, now, that's an interesting concept. Imagine an AI system that analyzes the specific genetic makeup of a plant, its current health status, and the environmental conditions it's facing. Then it could recommend a custom blend of nutrients, probiotics, or even beneficial fungi to help that plant thrive.
Like a personalized nutrition plan for plants.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm starting to think we could do an entire episode on just this idea.
Right, it's mind-blowing. And think about the implications for food security. We could potentially grow more resilient crops that are better adapted to changing climates and less susceptible to diseases.
Okay, so we've got AI disease detectives, AI weather forecasters, and now AI plant doctors. This is getting pretty futuristic.
It is.
But it's exciting to think about the possibilities, right?
It is. Of course, we need to acknowledge that these are just hypothetical scenarios at this point. A lot of research and development would be needed to bring these ideas to fruition. But that's the beauty of novel notions, right? It's all about exploring the possibilities, however outlandish they may seem. Who knows? Maybe one of these ideas will spark the next breakthrough in agricultural AI.
Absolutely. It's all about pushing the boundaries of what's possible and imagining a future where technology can help us solve some of the world's biggest challenges.
And on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up Part 1 of this deep dive will have a link to the original research paper down in the show notes if you want to explore the nitty-gritty details.
Yes, and be sure to join us for part 2, where we'll delve even deeper into the implications of explainable AI and its potential impact on various industries beyond agriculture.
Until then, keep those brains buzzing with those novel notions.
Yeah.
Bye! Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of explainable AI.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about how this technology, which we saw used for spotting diseases in those pumpkin leaves, could have such far-reaching implications, in so many other areas.
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you wonder where else it could be useful,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. One area that's ripe for this kind of innovation is healthcare.
Oh, healthcare. Okay.
Imagine a doctor being able to explain a diagnosis in a way that's clear, understandable, and tailored to each patient.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yeah, I think we've all had those experiences where we leave the doctor's office feeling a bit confused
Right.
or overwhelmed by all that medical jargon.
Exactly.
XAI could really change that.
Imagine a scenario where an AI is assisting a radiologist in reading a mammogram.
Go.
The AI might flag an area of concern, but instead of just saying this looks suspicious, it could actually highlight the specific features. It's focusing on subtle variations in density or microcalcifications, things a human eye might easily miss.
It's like having a second set of superpowered eyes, but with the added benefit of being able to articulate what they're seeing.
Exactly.
But couldn't that potentially lead to doctors over-relying on the AI
That's a great point.
and missing things that a human eye might catch?
That's a great point, and something researchers are actively working to address.
Okay.
The goal of XAI in healthcare isn't to replace doctors, but to empower them with better tools and information.
Right.
The transparency that XAI offers is crucial for ensuring that doctors remain critical thinkers and don't blindly trust the AI's output.
So it's really about striking the right balance between human expertise and AI assistance.
Precisely. And that balance extends to treatment plans as well.
Oh, okay.
Think about how XAI could help doctors develop personalized treatment plans for their patients.
So kind of like how we were talking about personalized plant medicine in the last segment, but for people this time.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system that analyzes a patient's genetic profile, their medical history, and even their lifestyle factors to recommend the most effective treatment for their specific condition.
That's incredible. And then just like with the pumpkin leaves, the AI can explain why it's recommending a certain treatment, right?
Exactly.
You can say something like, based on your genetic makeup, you're more likely to respond to this medication than that one.
Right.
Or this particular therapy has shown the highest success rate for patients with your type of tumor.
Exactly. And it could even simulate how different treatment options might play out over time, allowing patients to make more informed choices about their health care.
Wow, that sounds incredibly empowering.
It is.
But it also makes me wonder about the potential downsides. I mean, could having all this information be overwhelming for some patients?
Sure.
And what about the possibility of patients misinterpreting the AI's explanations?
Those are excellent questions. See, the development of XAI in healthcare needs to go hand in hand with patient education and support. Doctors will need to be trained on how to effectively communicate the AI's findings to their patients and help them make sense of the information. It's a new frontier that requires careful consideration and a focus on clear communication.
Okay, so we've covered healthcare. Where else might we see XAI making a big splash?
Well, another area that's ripe for disruption is finance.
Finance.
Imagine an AI system that can analyze market trends, assess risk, and make investment recommendations,
Okay.
all while explaining its rationale in a way that even a novice investor can understand.
So no more relying on those cryptic stock tips from that one friend who says they know a guy.
Exactly.
Instead, you have an AI that can break down complex financial concepts and help you make informed decisions.
It has the potential to democratize access to financial advice.
Yeah.
People who might not have the resources to hire a financial advisor could benefit from an AI-powered system that provides personalized recommendations tailored to their financial goals.
That's a fantastic idea, but isn't there a risk of people becoming overly reliant on these AI systems?
You're absolutely right.
I mean, investing always involves some level of risk, and even the smartest AI can't predict the future with 100% certainty.
You're absolutely right. It's crucial for people to understand that AI is a tool to assist with decision-making, not a crystal ball.
Okay.
It's important for individuals to do their own research, understand their risk tolerance, and not solely rely on AI-generated advice. Transparency and how these systems work is key.
So it's about empowering people with information and helping them make informed decisions, but not making those decisions for them.
Precisely. And that philosophy applies to many areas where XAI is being explored. Take the criminal justice system, for example.
Criminal justice.
Imagine an AI system that can assist judges in making sentencing decisions, taking into account all sorts of factors like the nature of the crime, the defendant's criminal history, and their socioeconomic background.
Whoa, that sounds like a really sensitive area for AI to be involved in.
It is.
We're talking about people's lives here.
Yeah.
I mean, how could we possibly trust an AI to make those kinds of calls?
You're right. It's a very sensitive and complex issue, and that's precisely why explainability is so crucial in this context. The AI would need to provide a clear and transparent rationale for its recommendations. It's not about replacing human judgment, but about providing judges with more information and insights to help them make fair and informed decisions.
So the AI wouldn't be handing down sentences, but rather acting as a sort of advisor to the judge.
Exactly. It's about collaboration and augmenting human decision-making with AI insights. Of course, there are many ethical considerations to be addressed.
Right.
And it's crucial to ensure that these systems are designed and used responsibly.
Okay, so we've got healthcare, finance, and criminal justice, all potentially being transformed by XAI. Any other industries on your radar?
Well, one that I find particularly intriguing is the potential of XAI in creative fields.
Creative fields.
Imagine an AI that can help writers overcome writer's block or assist musicians in composing new melodies.
What, an AI that can make art? I thought creativity was something uniquely human.
It's a fascinating question, isn't it? And one that's currently being explored by researchers and artists alike. Imagine an AI that can analyze vast amounts of text or music, identify patterns, and suggest new creative directions. And with XAI, we could understand how the AI is making those suggestions and learn from its insights.
So it wouldn't be replacing human creativity, but rather acting as a sort of muse or collaborator.
Exactly. It's about expanding the possibilities of human expression by combining our unique creative abilities with the computational power of AI.
Now that's something I'd love to see in action.
It's certainly a field worth watching, but let's not forget about our novel notions segment,
Right.
where we brainstorm even more outlandish but plausible ideas.
Okay.
How about this? What if we could create an AI system that could help us understand and interpret our own dreams?
Whoa, an AI dream decoder. That sounds amazing. I've always been fascinated by the idea of dreams being these windows into our subconscious minds.
Exactly. We spend a significant portion of our lives dreaming, but we often wake up with only fragmented memories of those bizarre and fantastical experiences. What if an AI could help us piece together those fragments and make sense of the symbolism and emotions that our dreams evoke?
Right. Like, why am I flying through space with a talking penguin? What does it all mean? I definitely need an AI to help me decipher that one.
Think about it. We could wear a sleep tracking device that records our brain activity throughout the night, and the AI could analyze those brain waves and identify patterns that correspond to different dream themes, emotions, and even symbols.
So it's like having a personalized dream dictionary, but powered by AI. Sign me up for that.
And who knows, maybe by understanding our dreams better, we could gain valuable insights into our waking lives, unlocking hidden potential or finding creative solutions to problems that have been nagging us.
It's like tapping into the collective wisdom of our subconscious minds. What a cool idea.
But of course, there are many challenges to overcome.
Right.
Dreams are notoriously difficult to study, and there's a lot of subjectivity involved in interpreting them. Developing an AI system that could accurately and reliably interpret dreams would be a monumental task.
Right, because one person's flying penguin might be another person's anxiety about a work deadline.
Exactly.
It's all very personal and open to interpretation.
Exactly. But that's the beauty of novel notions, right? It's all about exploring the possibilities, no matter how far-fetched they might seem. Who knows? Maybe someday we'll all have our own AI dream decoders helping us navigate the labyrinthine landscapes of our minds.
Now, that's a future I'm excited to dream about. But for now, I think it's time to wrap up part 2 of this deep dive. Be sure to join us for part 3, where we'll explore even more groundbreaking applications of explainable AI and the potential challenges we'll need to address along the way.
Until then, keep those imaginations soaring.
Welcome back to the final part of our deep dive into the world of explainable AI.
It's been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah.
From pumpkin patches to personalized medicine dream decoders and even AI muses, we've covered a lot of ground.
It really is mind-blowing to think about how this technology could reshape so many different aspects of our lives.
Yeah.
But as we wrap up our exploration, I think it's important to step back and consider the bigger picture.
Okay.
While XAI has the potential to do a lot of good, it also raises some pretty profound questions, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. One of the most important things to remember is that XAI is still a relatively new field. We're just beginning to understand its capabilities and limitations, and as with any powerful technology, there's always the potential for unintended consequences.
So we need to be cautious and thoughtful about how we develop and deploy these systems.
Yeah.
It's not just about the technical aspects, but also about the ethical and societal implications.
Exactly. We need to ensure that these systems are aligned with our values and that they're used to benefit humanity as a whole. Transparency and accountability are absolutely crucial.
Okay, so we've talked about the need for caution and responsibility,
Right.
but let's shift gears a bit and explore some of the more philosophical implications of XAI. One thing that I find fascinating is this idea of AI consciousness.
Yeah.
If an AI can explain its decisions, does that mean it actually understands what it's doing? Or is it just following a set of rules without any real comprehension?
That's a question that philosophers and scientists have been grappling with for decades, and honestly, there's no easy answer. Some experts believe that true AI consciousness is impossible, while others think it's just a matter of time before machines achieve a level of understanding that rivals our own.
It's definitely a mind-bending concept. I mean, if
Mhm.
an AI can understand its own decisions, what does that mean for our relationship with technology? Would we treat these machines as equals? Would they have rights? It's a bit unnerving to think about.
It certainly raises a lot of questions, but I think regardless of whether AI ever achieves true consciousness, the pursuit of explainability is still incredibly valuable, even if the AI itself doesn't fully understand its decisions. We as humans can benefit from that transparency.
It gives us a window into the AI's thought process, which can help us identify potential biases,
Yeah.
improve accuracy, and build trust in these systems.
Precisely. And ultimately, I think that's what XAI is all about, building a bridge between humans and machines, fostering collaboration and understanding. As AI becomes more sophisticated and pervasive in our lives, that partnership will only become more important.
Well said. Okay, I think it's time for one final round of novel notions, ready to unleash our imaginations one last time.
Let's do it. How about this? What if we could use XAI to create a universal translator that could not only translate languages, but also cultural nuances and social contexts?
Whoa, that would be amazing. Imagine traveling to a foreign country and
Yeah.
being able to understand not just the words people are saying, but also their unspoken intentions, their humor, their cultural references. It'd be like having a cultural ambassador in your pocket.
Exactly. It would break down so many barriers to communication and understanding. Think about the implications for diplomacy, international relations, even just everyday interactions between people from different cultures.
It could truly help us connect on a deeper level and build more meaningful relationships. But how could an AI possibly grasp the subtleties of human communication, which is so often filled with irony, sarcasm, and double meanings? It seems like that would be incredibly difficult to teach a machine.
It would be a monumental task for sure. But that's where the explainability aspect comes in. By understanding how the AI is making its translations, we could identify potential misinterpretations and refine the system to be more culturally sensitive. It's not just about translating words, but about translating meaning.
So it's about more than just language processing. It's about understanding culture, history, psychology, all the things that make us human.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe someday we'll all be carrying around our own AI-powered cultural translators, helping us navigate the complexities of a truly globalized world.
Now that's the future. I'm excited to see. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into the world of explainable AI. It's been a fascinating journey, and I hope you've enjoyed exploring these ideas with us.
It's been a pleasure as always, and remember, the journey of discovery never truly ends. Keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep those imaginations firing.
Until next time, stay curious.